So this is day 9 with my daughter Pojin, and this is our 5th day in the hospital. Still no improvements. Well, there was, but she started getting worse. But I just want to pray here that no mother should go through this. I pray that no other mother will go through this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm sure you guys have missed me. I have missed you guys too. My name is Davina and I vlog about myself, my marriage and my motherhood journey. Now I am so sorry I have been missing. Some people have messaged me on Instagram to ask me, oh, what's happening to your vlog? We haven't heard from you since. I am so sorry. Today I am going to talk about one of the reasons why I was missing for a while, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. So like 2 weeks ago, I went through one of the toughest phases I would ever go through in motherhood. Like, it wasn't easy for me. I thank God for strength. I thank God for his glory and his mercies in our lives. His words will never fail in Jesus' name. Let me take you guys back, and then you guys will understand where I'm coming from. Because if I start from the end of the story, you guys won't really understand. So let me go far as back as 6 months. So when I went for menace immunization at 6 months, I checked my daughter's weight and she was 10 kg. And I realized that every month, Omena adds like 1 kg or 1.5 kg. So at 6 months, Omena was 10 kg. I was already even happy, like, oh, more. Look at my child, chubby, and then she was really chubby. I remember my friend Toyosi was always calling her Chunky. Well, she still calls her Chunky till now, but then that was her nickname because she was really chubby. So fast forward to 3 months later, 9 months, I took her for immunization, and my daughter was about 11.5 kg. And I was telling the nurse, like, so you want to tell me in 3 months my darling added only 1.5 kg. They're like, it's growth, she started crawling, I said, I know, I was just talking, and we just laughed about it. Fast forward to a month ago, when Omena just turned, she was that was 2 or 3 weeks after the immunization. That evening I tried to feed my daughter and she threw up, and I was like, okay, what's happening? And I fed her the first time, she threw up. I gave her breast milk, she threw up. Till the next day she was throwing up. I was like, what? Like, I was shocked. So I quickly took her to the hospital, and then I found out that they told me that my daughter had food poisoning. So she had eaten something that wasn't good for her system, therefore her system is reacting and throwing out everything. So I asked them, do they have drugs to stop the vomiting? They said yes, but because she's still a baby, her immune system is not strong enough for the drug. So what they are going to advise is I should allow her throw up everything in her tummy and make sure that everything comes out, and then she'll feel all right. I was devastated at that point. I was like, which mom wants to watch her child throw up? But I was like, okay, if you guys say so. So they put her on the drip, to give her fluids and all, and then she was getting better. As at that evening itself, when I was already playing, she was already in fact, let me put up a video for you guys to see. So you see, as I was saying, she was really playing. The girl was excited. I was so happy the next day, because they also said she had malaria plus. And at that time we had already gone to visit family, so we couldn't carry her bed and her net, so mosquitoes. So she had malaria plus, but by God's grace the hospital was able to give her injections through the line that they made, and then she was already getting better. As at the next day, my daughter was already disturbing the whole hospital. Like, the nurse had to come out. The nurse was like, are you sure this girl is sick? Compared to when she came yesterday, she's really strong. I'm like, yes. So they were ready to go, and they were like, you know what, they would discharge us, but they give us oral drugs for her malaria. And yeah, that one passed. Exactly 2 weeks later, Omena, it was on a Tuesday. I remember it was on a Tuesday, and my cousin gave my baby plantain in the afternoon. I was busy. Now this is the point where I classify myself as careless, because I was busy gisting outside with my neighbor. After Omena ate the plantain for lunch, she was supposed to eat cereal for pre-dinner. So Omena eats like 4 to 5 times a day, so we have something called pre-dinner. So she was supposed to eat her cereal at that time, and then she was rejecting the food. I was wondering, I was like, my baby that loves to eat, what's happening? So she was rejecting the food, but she was sitting on her feeding chair and watching her cartoon. Next thing, I was like, you know what, just leave her, maybe we'll try later. So next thing, I turned and I saw my daughter. She was like relaxed on the chair, like she was sleepy. So my husband was like, it's like Omena is sleepy. I'm like, no, Omena is 6 o'clock. I'm sure Omena is not sleepy. And he was like, it's like she's sleepy. So when I took her out of the chair, she just like fell on my body. And I'm like, okay, what's happening? What's wrong? And then she pooed. When Omena pooed, it was the plantain that she pooed. And I'm like, who poos plantain? So I was like, okay, what's happening? Like, I was a little confused. So she put the first one, I cleaned her up. Not up to like an hour, Omena pooed again. I'm like, okay, okay, maybe she didn't finish the first poo. So my daughter pooed again. I'm like, okay. Then, towards the evening time, she pooed again. I'm like, this is getting out of hand. And before you knew it, she started that evening when I tried to feed her. She was rejecting the food. Omena refused to eat, and she started vomiting. So she was pooing, she was vomiting, and she wasn't eating. I was already scared. I'm like, what's happening? What's happening? Oh, I forgot to even mention. The last time I went to the hospital and she was vomiting, they now said, oh, Omena had dropped to 10 kg. 10 point something. And I'm like, from 11.5, my daughter has dropped to 10.3. Yeah, it was 10.3 in 2 weeks. Like, was it 2 weeks, about a month? I was sure, like, how will my daughter drop that much? But the doctor was like, don't worry, she'll get it back, she will eat, give her multivitamins. I said no problem. Next day, me and my husband decided to go to a new hospital close to our house. We went there. It's like a government hospital. The place is very fancy, the place is very nice. So I checked her weight, and my daughter was like 9.8. I'm like, 9.8. I said, okay, no problem, let's just get to it. So we saw the doctor. She told me it was fine. As at that time, Omena has been pooing and pooing and pooing and pooing. I've been cleaning her up. Even as I was talking to the doctor, she pooed twice, 2 times. She was very weak. She had not eaten, and I was practically begging her. Even breast milk, my daughter was rejecting breast milk. I asked them, okay, are you guys going to admit her? They were like, no, that just give her ORT or ORS, anyone, and then give her this drug. So they gave me some drugs. They were like, I should come back. So this was on a Wednesday. So they told me I should come back on Friday. They would check on her and see if she's getting better. And I agreed. The whole of Wednesday, Omena wasn't eating. I was literally begging my child. My child refused to eat. So Thursday morning, she woke up. I gave her ORT, and somebody that did not even take 1 drop of ORT that morning, Omena finished 250 meals of ORT because she was so hungry. Like, imagine, she had not eaten from like Tuesday afternoon to Thursday morning. That's when she had the first she had the 250 meals of ORS. And before you knew it, Omena started playing. She was already getting better. I gave her food, she started eating, but she was still pooing. But I was like, okay, my daughter is no longer vomiting. She stopped vomiting as well. My daughter is eating. It's just the pooing. So I was like, okay, we're getting there. So Thursday, she pooed till in the evening. That evening, she pooed and she was crying. And I told my husband, I packed up our bags. I was like, you know what? Let's leave this new hospital. Let's go to our old hospital. We need to go there. My husband was like, oh yeah, okay. So we started packing up, and then next thing, Omena started playing. She started playing, started talking. And my husband was like, she's all right. I don't think we need to go to the hospital since we're going to the hospital tomorrow. Next morning, I took Omena to the hospital, and this girl, like, when we woke up, she had not pooed. I'm like, okay, since the night before. She had not pulled. Went to the hospital. We waited for about 4 hours. When I had not pulled, we were feeling very positive, so we took her home. So that day, my cousin was leaving. So, I drove my cousin to my dad's house, and it was late. So I was like, I have to sleep over till the next day. People of God. That Friday, immediately we got to my dad's house. I gave Omena pap. And Omena started pooing. The poo that we're facing before. She started pooing the poo again. Like, she started back to back. So I was now talking to him, because at that time my auntie was with me. So I told her what was happening, and she was like, this is bad though. But let's watch her till the next day. That everybody was not saying, I'm sure it's teething, because my child, even up to now that she's 11 months, she got no teeth. She's toothless. So so my auntie told me, okay, I should wait till the next morning, which I did. The next morning, whenever she wants to poo, she bends her leg and she puts her bum up. So I was like, you know what, let me even see how this girl is pooing, what's happening. So I opened her pampers and I watched her poo. People, my daughter was pooing muko. Like, in case you don't understand, like kata, very big chunk came out of Omena's bum. And you know what, I just jumped up. I told my dad, I went to wake my dad up. I was like, we need to go to the hospital now. Omena is pooing muko. I started raising an alarm in the house. My auntie said, oh my dad, I think it's teething. I just talked to my dad. I said, if somebody tell me teething, because I remember, when it started on Tuesday, Wednesday, everybody was just saying it's teething. I just told my dad, I said, if someone tells me teething one more time, I'm going to run mad. Like, I don't want to hear that word teething. I am taking my child to the hospital. And that was how we went to the hospital Saturday morning. As at Friday night, my daughter had pulled 41 times, 40 and 1. As in, I was like, what's happening? Like, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, she put 32 times. Friday, she put 9 times. 9 good times. And I was already panicking. I'm like, what is this? That Saturday, when we rushed her to the hospital, they put her on the fluids. They were like, oh my God, this child is dehydrated. Omena was crying. There was no tears. There was no sweat. So they were like, why didn't I bring her to the hospital since? I told them, I took her to another hospital and she was getting better. So I was, hoping that it will pass. And they're like, no. It has to do with fluids. They said I shouldn't be taking ORT, ORS. I told her, I told them, she only took it once, and that was what I told you guys. So they put her on fluids immediately. And the thing is, Omena was actually eating, but everything she eats, she will poo. So as at that time, they stopped me from giving her milk. So it was just breast milk, and they stopped me from giving her milk and pap. They told me if I have to give her pap, I have to go and get fresh pap. I was like, okay. So Saturday, my daughter had put 11 times. She put 11 times on Saturday, bringing the total to 52 times. So when I stopped the pap, I stopped the milk, I gave her gappa that period and breast milk throughout Saturday. So when I gave her the gappa and I gave her the breast milk on Saturday, she put 11 times on Saturday. On Sunday, she put 7 times. So it was like it was getting better, but it was still poo and muco. So there was poo and then there was muco. So the poo will come out with the muco. Guys, I was broken. I wouldn't even lie. So they came, they saw her. She was still pooing, but my daughter was still a little bit active. She was active, kind of, and weak. And in fact, on Sunday she put 7 times. On Monday she put 10 times. At that point they were like, okay, what's happening? So he said, you know what, stop breast milk. That let's stop giving her breast milk, because maybe she's lactose intolerant at the moment. So I should stop breast milk, which I did. So throughout Monday I didn't give her breast milk. Tuesday the poo reduced to about 6 times. Well, we were like, progress. And even the last poo, the second to the last poo was a little thick. So you were like, oh, thank God, no breast milk. So that night, on Tuesday night, Omena really wanted to suck breast milk. She was fighting me, and every day my different aunties come to stay. So one of my aunties came and she was like, oh my, give her breast. I'm like, I can't give her breast. Doctor said no breast and she's improving. So there was a lot of pressure, give her breast, because as at 2 a.m. in the morning, when I was restless, she really wanted the breast. So we spoke to the doctor. The doctor was like, okay. So you know how all these aunties can be. Yes, I'll call her out. My auntie was a little bit, she put a lot of pressure on the doctor and a lot of pressure on myself, which was my carelessness. And I succumbed. I gave Omena breast milk, and before you knew it, it was like we went back to square one. So I hope you guys don't mind. I'm about to put what the pool looked like as at the time I gave her the breast milk.
Did you see what the pool looks like? I think it has gotten worse because of the breast milk.
So if you can see it had like particles of milk in it, and at that point I felt very guilty. I felt very bad. Wednesday, Omena pulled 12 times. Okay, so what happened was on Tuesday, they actually told me to stop breast milk and food. Like I should not give her anything at all. So Omena had not eaten on Tuesday and the pooing reduced. So on Wednesday, she had still not eaten till in the evening. They had to, because they were like, this pooing has been on for so long. At Tuesday night, Omena had pooed in total of 75 times. 5 times. That, trust me guys, at that point I was already broken, watching my daughter, and they had to do series of tests to see whether the fact that she was constantly dehydrated was affecting a lot of organ functions. You get, I didn't even know it could be that bad. I know they had to do a blood test to check her. I've forgotten what my sister called the test. If I remember, I'll put it down. But they had to do that test that day. They were trying to get her blood. My daughter's veins were blocked. They poked her till they finally got blood, and the blood was everywhere. I couldn't take a better video or picture of how much blood was everywhere. But trust me guys, I was broken. I could hear my daughter cry. She would beg me, she would pull me, and I couldn't save my child from the pain she was going through, because the pooing, the poking, because most times, because she's a baby, her lines get blocked, so they will have to check. So they literally put it on both hands and both legs, so they were interchanging, because most times it gets blocked, because it wasn't just the fluids they were putting in, they were putting the drugs and everything. And because Omena refused to eat or refused to take oral drugs, they had to put all the drugs through the line. Like, that period was really devastating. I remember the first video I played earlier for you guys, I was already frustrated. I had cried my eyes out. They were now giving her, they had to put glucose and salt inside, and the doctor told me, he was like, do you know that your child is very strong, because this thing going through the lines is actually very, very painful. And then you could see my daughter, her ribs had come out, her tummy had gone inside. My daughter had lost so much weight. My daughter that had never seen her neck, I saw my daughter's neck. Like, Omena was skinny. That Wednesday night, Omena had put she put 10 times, but she put 2 times, but it was really small. I was praying. I didn't sleep. I sat down to my auntie to sleep. I prayed. I spoke to God. I remember I shout out to my NBC tribe sisters, like, God will bless you guys. That day I was not myself. I was not myself, and I couldn't even pray. Let me not lie, I couldn't even pray. I felt abandoned by God. I felt this punishment was like, God, please allow me purge. I'm looking for how to lose weight. Allow me purge. Don't put my child through this. And as at that time when we got to the hospital, Omena had gone down to 8.9 kg. 8.9 kg from 11.5 kg in how long? I wasn't myself. This was in 1 month. 1 month, my daughter had lost that much, from 11.5 to 8.9 kg. And that was before we started. That was as a Saturday. I didn't want to even check her weight as at the time we were leaving the hospital, because I didn't know what I would have done with myself. I didn't know what I would have done with myself. I won't lie. So that day I messaged the group, told them to pray for me, and they started praying for me. Some of them even called me to pray with me. And I just want to say thank you to you guys. That period was not it for me, I won't lie. Even me, I had lost weight because I wasn't eating. I just felt stressed. As in, may God help us mothers. So as at Thursday morning, Omena pulled, and like she pulled the first time, second time, third time. That third time was about 8 a.m. that morning. I just told that poo, I said, you this demonic poo, you will leave my child, and as her mother I have commanded that this is the last time she is going to poo. So as at Wednesday, sorry, I forgot to mention, a specialist came to see her, because even the hospital, the doctors were like, this is getting too bad, and we've tried everything. They are giving her antibiotics, and the thing about antibiotics is if you give a child more antibiotics than they actually need, they will actually start having more bacteria. As in, guys, so so the attending came, saw my daughter. She was like, oh my God, that look at the child, has she eating? I said no, that it's almost 48 hours. The woman said no, I should give her food. So as at Wednesday evening, I was allowed to feed her. So the woman told me, just give her cereal without milk, make it thicker, which I did. So I made it thicker. I gave Omena, and if you see when my daughter ate that food, she was so hungry. Like, God, I'm trying not to cry so that I will not ruin my makeup, but my daughter ate very well that night. She was stronger on Wednesday night, but the poo didn't stop. She'll be strong, and then once she pulls, she's going back to being weak again. So that morning, after I prayed and I commanded the poo to stop, she didn't poo. My child didn't poo. She started eating well. She was fine. 12 hours plus, Omena had not pulled, and she had eaten. And at that time, she was so hungry, so Omena was eating like two plates. Mind you, I forgot to mention, my child's anus, the inside of her butt, was so red and swollen that we had to be steaming the nyash. So what we do is, we had to buy a potty, put hot water, salt, and Dettol, open Omena's bum, so that it can be entering inside. Guys, my daughter was in pain, so we started doing that every 6 hours for her. That was another tough moment. Come and give her another drip again, but they could not find vein. They had poked my daughter. My daughter had cried to the point that she had lost her voice. Sorry. And the doctor was like, you know what, this pain is too much for this child, let's just stop it. So that's how they stopped. They removed all the lines. They left her like that Thursday. But as they removed the line, when I put 2 times, and those 2 times it was thick. Like, I was so proud to show the nurse. I was like, look at my daughter's poo. That I've never been so happy to see shit thick in my life. So as at that time, she pulled 2 times. The pool was thick. So they put us on observation till the next morning, because since she had not pulled, they were like, okay, that's good sign. So the next morning, Omena she didn't pull. After that one she put in the night, she didn't pull at all. The next morning, my daughter had eaten like 3 times. Omena was eating like a glutton. I had resumed giving her breast milk. Mind you guys, my breast was heavy. Oh my God, I almost weaned her off breast, but my sister, the doctor that she is, made sure that I didn't wean her off. And at that time, my daughter, anytime she sees the nurses, she starts crying and crying, but as at Thursday night stroke Friday, Monday, all became friends. Shout out to the doctors and nurses of Divine Medical Center. I just want to say thank you guys. You guys were amazing. You guys made our stay there really good. You guys helped us a lot. In fact, you could tell that most of them were feeling the pain for my child. you know, Omena is a very loving child. You know, anytime she comes for immunization, she's so loud, and she has this twin brother that they are always talking. Like the two of them, oh my god, they will talk, they will gist, they will play. So, you know, the hospital, they were also used to my child. That was Friday morning. I was so excited. You could tell that I was happy. I went out. I spent 1,000 naira on cab to go and buy 200 naira akara and pap from my favorite akara and pap place in Ikoyi, just opposite High Court, to down it, because I was so happy. As at that Friday morning, they discharged us with a lot of drugs. I wore Omena, her dress, and my daughter, because she was always wearing onesies. Omena lost so much weight, she went back to her 6 to 9 month dresses. And, you know, I was so worried. But, my dear, the thought of my child being alright was it for me. So, Omena didn't stop pooing, because as at that Friday, she still pooed about 4 times. 4 or 5 times. I think Friday she put about 4 times, Saturday she put about 5 times. So she was still pooing, but trust me, Omena was eating every 2 hours. Every 2 hours, and she was eating double of her normal portion. Omena was eating and eating and eating and eating and eating. I was like, this girl, even me, I was scared. She was eating, she was so aggressive, she was trying to get back all that she had lost. And then she was playful again. She was playing, she was... In fact, guys, that period was not it for me. I had cried. I remember people telling me, oh yeah, mom, you need to be strong. Please don't let them deceive you. Moms, you can be weak as well. You don't have to be strong all the time. Cry. God is listening to your cry. So I cried and cried and cried. I won't lie to you, I cried. So, you know, I also want to say a big shout out to my dad. That man was there for me. I won't lie. My dad was... I remember when they were poking Omena, my dad couldn't even stand it. My dad wanted to cry, because him and Omena, they are practically like twins. They look alike. Look at this picture. Like, they look alike so much. So my husband tried as well. You know, my aunties, Auntie Antonia, Auntie Pauline, and Auntie Maria. Those are the 3 aunties that stayed with me in the hospital. They were taking shifts, doing night shifts, sleeping on the chair, just to take care of my child with me. I want to say thank you. It's not easy to have family members that are there for you. Everybody that came to visit, everybody that called. Toyo, oh my god, did I leave out Toyosi? Am I mad? Hey, my friend Toyosi came almost every day, and she stayed long hours with me, comforting me, taking care of Mena with me. Toyosi, see, I owe you everything. I owe you everything. Toyosi was there when I gave birth to Mena. She was one of the first people to see Mena, the first minute, or let me say first hour when she was born. Toyosi was there for me, and I want you to know, Toyosi Oshinaike, I got you. Like, anything you want in this life, I will do it for you. Girl, I love you, die. Thank you so much. And yeah, how is Omena now? She's fine. Girl is still chopping. She has added a few kgs. I have not checked, but I'm sure she has added weight. And you know, my daughter is as happy as ever. She's still slimmer than she was, but hey, step by step, it's just 2 weeks, no pressure. And you know, I just want to thank God for life, and I want to thank God for everything that we've been through, that I know we're going to be better. So I just want to thank God for everything, and I want to thank you guys, and I want you guys to know that your girl is back. Your girl is back, vlogging back to back. The next video you guys are going to see is my first 6 weeks as a mom. You guys don't want to miss that dramatic filled video. Oh my god, I can't wait. Yes, I needed to drop this out there. Thank you guys for being patient for this vlog. I want to say thank you, and I'm happy I'm back. I can't wait to continue vlogging. Do you like my jewelry? It's so pretty, right? I will tag the vendor. She's a good friend of mine, so free publicity is not bad. Please check out her page. She has really lovely jewelries. For now, it's goodbye. I love you, and I can't wait to vlog. I love you guys. Mwah, 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 mwah.